Call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. I'd take a motion to approve the agenda and the minutes, please.
So moved.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion will carry. Rich Brum, good morning.
Oh, I think he's out today.
Oh, he's on vacation.
Yeah, something.
That's right.
Unless Russ has some words of wisdom.
Russ, is there anything you have for us at all
Yeah.
by chance, or are we just gonna, good to go?
Catch up.
He's not gonna talk.
I'm not unmuting.
I'll unmute him, so.
Okay.
Well, guess not.
Otherwise, we'll move right on down to drainage.
Got claims.
And
We have, those are the checks and these are the stamped
that's
orders,
what it is.
I
Thank
think.
you.
Beavers.
Yeah, lots of them.
Yep. Take a motion to approve the drainage claims.
So moved.
Second that motion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion will carry.
Russ is now muted. If,
Russ, got anything you want to tell us?
Mm-mm.
well, it's not.
Does he have microphone on his?
It says it does.
Unless you've got the volume way down.
Right. He's probably high. Or he's on the phone, who knows?
You own.
All right, and also take a motion to approve the stamped warrants.
So moved.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion will carry. No regular claims this week.
Nope,
Um,
that'll be the only thing for
Monday,
next Monday,
right?
yeah.
Okay, that's right.
yeah,
Unless you guys want anything else.
we'll just I'll zoom from home.
Yeah.
We'll just do that on Monday and
Same
then,
time Monday morning.
and then Wednesday we'll plan on meeting regular for
Swearing.
swearing in, right? Okay. Nope, that's fine. Let's just do that
I don't have those set up yet, so if you want to let me know, just so I don't forget.
Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Any reports?
Yep. Oh, here's that. Here is my report,
Oh,
a little late.
so motion to approve the auditor's report.
All right, there's a motion to approve the auditor's report, and I will second that motion. Favor aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No motion will carry. Payroll eligibility?
Nope.
Liquor license.
Nope.
Marie will be on in a few minutes.
Mhm. And you
Uh,
guys have all the information emailed to you from that?
I know I glanced at it.
You know what it looks like.
Yeah.
I've seen it before.
Winworth Betco, Melissa. She on there?
I didn't see her.
I don't see her either.
Maybe she's off.
Jason, not on there either. We were still waiting on that deed. I thought it was gonna be in last week, and Jason shot another email out, and
The reporter
Progress.
has heard about it.
she has.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
heard about it,
Okay,
so
well, maybe-
there's hope.
We're closer than we were.
Oh, Melissa's on vacation.
That's what I was thinking.
That's why she
Yeah.
just said that. Mess up. Anyways, yeah. So hopefully we can get that done. I know I think he's got all his numbers figured out. We just need that, and then we can start, like I say, setting the prices or whatever. So I guess evidently the first year, maybe after the first year.
Well, there's still almost 2 weeks of this year.
That's true.
There is.
Maybe we'll get lucky.
It's probably gonna drag on like a whole year's
I
worth.
know how that goes.
Planning and zoning, did Matt ever call and talk to Shelley? Did you talk to him?
Matt, I did call Matt and he called me back. I was out of the office, so we're gonna talk, I think, today or tomorrow to get him set up with phone and email contact and all that stuff, so.
Okay. Sounds good.
And you're just gonna stick with that planning and zoning, yeah.
That's what
and
you
then-
wanted, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then keep Jeff on there for a little while until the happens.
When you guys tell me to pull the plug on it, but we'll just keep that, it's a group email right now, so that anybody that's on that list can be a part of it, so I'll just, you wanna stay on it?
For now, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if the soups wanna be a part of it, they certainly can too.
I'm fine with that. I've got enough other knowledge. Take care of it.
I want to be inclusive, Mike.
Yeah, well, it's, and like I said, he'll be fine. We just need to get together.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever the next payroll starts, then so he needs to get that paperwork to her.
Yeah, he needs to hook up with Shelley.
Is that something she can email to him, some of that stuff?
No, he's gonna.
And that's fine, he will. But like I said, I sent him a message, told him that you'd be calling him and whatever, and getting set up with that. And I think I told him he had to, get a hold of Shelley, but maybe he's been busy too, so.
He sounded a little crazy on the phone.
Yeah.
Cause I told him until next week it was perfect. It's like,
Right. Yeah. So yeah, maybe this week I'll have time to come over, do whatever. And if I need to, I told him I plan on meeting with him and Jeff at some point here in the near future to get him the ordinance books or whatever he needs. And so, but he is aware anyway, so we'll get it done this week. The department head discussion on COVID-19 policies. Everything's been going pretty well. Haven't heard of anything, which is a good sign. Otherwise, we'll take a supervisor weekly report. Work.
Our workforce development board, some general discussion, short meeting. Still looking for a service provider. So we're gonna put out RFPs on that. Hopefully they can get something before the end of the year because the state won't grant us any more time, so. They're working on it anyway. Then I had Central Iowa Juvenile Detention. They discussed, they're doing some building expansion down there to basically will house the waived youth, adults or whatever. And that's where they'll, going forward, that's probably where they'll end up. Tony's just trying to get ahead of the game and that's gonna be the first in the state with it. As things change, I guess, and then I went over the budget and stuff. But COVID's affected them too, just like everybody else, but they got some PPP money and everything's going okay, so. I had Wentworth Beck on Monday too, I guess.
Yeah.
Wasn't sat in on that and also listed in on one of the safety things with IMWC did, so. That's it.
So I had Wentworth Backhoe on Monday. Got their budget, which looks good. Be down a little cheaper this year, so.
Did you say Wentworth Backhoe?
Yes.
Can I get that too?
Yeah, she's, I figured she probably sent it to you, but otherwise we did approve it, so she should be sending it. Well, I know she'll send it that way.
It's gonna.
I got a hard copy. I don't
Because
know.
that's something I had to do
Yeah.
a budget amendment for, because did the giving here get any better, or is it still gonna be way over the 50,000?
Oh,
we
it's
used
a
to?
lot less. Well, not, it's, what was it, right at 50, wasn't it?
It's, I don't know if I still have her email now, it's in there, but wasn't,
Yeah, it's not gonna be
I think so.
the 90, some whatever it was last year. It'll be back down to.
Yeah, she lowered the estimate quite a bit.
Yeah,
Cause that just didn't make sense at all to me last year, and it kinda, it's not budgeted for because I never got the number.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, she sent it to probably to Claudia.
Probably
so.
first.
I don't know, I'll look when we're done if I have it. I don't know if she sent it to us because it's such a big file. I got the hard copy at home. And I can get you that, but otherwise, I'll make sure you get it.
Thanks.
But it is down closer to what it was before.
Yeah, I only need one number off of it.
Right. And then she actually aimed low on hotel motel because hotel motel is low this year.
Right.
So she would go all around that, just figuring what would be possibly. So anyways, I'll get that to you. And then What else did I have last week? Had a phone conference with Iowa Northern and stuff. Little discussion on the Sioux Cup deal. Looks like they're gonna start in the spring.
Okay.
Hopefully everything goes good there once we get the rest of our stuff finished. I think everything's a go anyway. So, and then they're gonna start some intermodal stuff actually where the wind turbine parts are. They're gonna start bringing some containers in there and start that this winter. So you see some of that going on down there this winter for a while, and then they're still waiting to get the final word on anything else bigger down there. So hopefully. Other than that, that's all I had. I've got a busy week this week. So looking on the items for the future meetings, I see RCPs on for today, but they weren't on the agenda. So
What's
that's
on?
RSVP budget request at 9 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
So it's on
Yeah,
there.
it's
We
on
can
there,
we can go
yeah.
off that, right? That's
Yep.
okay.
I just didn't do it.
I was looking at that Friday and I forgot to call. Well, it's on there. It's on
Yeah.
there. So. Is Maria on there yet, Joel?
Yeah.
I do not see anybody else, no.
I gotta touch base with Chris Diggins again too, because I can't remember the total timeline for that urban revitalization thing. That's
30.
gotta be coming up.
Yeah,
30 days from the 7th, right?
yes.
Oh, so it will be after the first.
Yeah, first of the year.
So the
Before we
meeting, January, whatever,
Yeah.
4th or whatever that meeting is, then we'll do
I need to get that in there too.
readings the next 3 Mondays.
Marie Boyd,
That's right.
I'm admitting right now. She's muted, but
Marie, this is AJ. We are ready for you whenever you are ready.
Oh, wow. Good morning. Good
We're ahead of the schedule a little bit, so. How are you
Alright.
today?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Good.
Yes. Adjusting to the life of Zoom, probably already well adjusted by now, right?
Short and quick learning process, but now it's all we're gonna do.
Yes, totally agree. It's changed the way our board meets and as well. So definitely a great way to connect across counties and all the good stuff in North Iowa. So thanks for having me on this morning. I wanted to give you an update on Healthy Harvest and what we've been up to this year, and just talk a little bit about the future as well. So I'll dive right in. And I do want to start off by, of course, thanking you, AJ and Mark and Jackie and everyone, as far as your continued support of our work. Obviously, 2020 has been a weird year, is an understatement, right? But something I'm definitely thankful for is that local food has actually seen pretty great success this year. Obviously, in the beginning, there was a lot of question about supply chain issues and concerns about food safety and just the amount of hands touching products. And thankfully, a lot of folks looked locally, and with the work that we've been doing over the past 9-10 plus years, our farmers were ready for it. That, you know, continuing to build capacity, be able to respond to increased demand is something they've been dreaming and waiting for. And it was really a blessing in a weird COVID bubble, right? So our farmers are reporting increased sales and increased demand, and something that we're looking at, how do we continue to embrace that moving forward, past, hopefully once we get through COVID-19, but then into the future, when people are really understanding what's here and locally available. So obviously, a part of that is promotion. We do our local food guide, which looked different this year because people weren't necessarily out and about grabbing that guide. But what we did do was beef up our online presence, which we've had our online, sorry, my dog is digging in a bag, online database, searchable database for a while. But can I share my screen real quick? Is that okay?
One second, Joel will give you permission to do that.
Okay. We have beefed up our searchable directory, but also we have recipes available online. So let me see.
Right.
Perfect. There. So we have over 110 recipes that we have in here and growing, where we do little recipe demos via video, and then I'll click into the winter springtime frittata that wants to work. So
This morning, yeah.
yeah, right. Nice winter warm eggs with some delicious veggies in there, or local meat. So all of these are clickable links to then you can search that product from our local farmers as well. So it's a great way to encourage people to think about eating seasonally and eating locally, and then taking that next step about where to find those products. So we saw a lot of great response to that, and we have some contractors who are working hard on building that database, which is exciting. And then another thing we did this year, ooh, I can't run my browser, is we did a local food challenge in the fall. So I think I sent that along in the attachment, but we had these cute little checklists for each county that you could use to make sure you're supporting the local food businesses in your county. And then folks could enter and win gift cards to a local business of their choice. So it was a great way to increase the exposure to those businesses that list in our local food guide, and really try to get some excitement around that, not just in the beginning of the spring into the summer, but really fall, winter, thinking about the great resources that are out there. So that is a lot of that promotional side of things. We've also been working really hard on building a local food marketing campaign that's going to launch this coming spring, which a little teaser is called Grow, Eat, Play North Iowa, talking about local food experiences and ways people can engage in some of those pieces, but there'll be some other engagement pieces as well. And Aaron Thomas from Kensett is been our photographer for that. So he's been going out and capturing photography at our different farms and businesses in the area as a part of that as well. So we're so lucky to have him in our region as well. So a couple other great highlights that have been going on is farm to school work. Part of the CARES Act funding was allocated to local food purchasing and equipment for schools and farms who sell to schools. Honestly, they launched it in September, and thankfully with our contacts we were able to get the word out and get a lot of money here to North Iowa. So I know Ron Rahoot over at Fertile Valley was a recipient of one of the producer grants. If you talk to him, he's very excited about it, what he's been able to do and purchase to be able to increase his response to the demand, but also obviously the sale of his product into 12 local schools, as well as 3 early childhood care centers. So even getting that interest from the young kiddos, getting some of those centers involved, which was great. That was over $25,000 in food sales, as well as, I don't have the official number yet, but at least 20,000 in equipment in this area. And that's dollars that, again, we saw it came through, helped people apply, and we're able to make it happen. So another way that your support of us is just making our region even stronger. A few other things, I mean, we've done a couple of recipe classes. Obviously, we hope to do those in person, but building off those recipe database on our site, we're looking at how to host online cooking classes into 2021, that now this looks like our reality. So looking how to further engage people in the online space. And what was the other factor? We were definitely talking about how to, well, we had to cancel any of our farm to fork dinners, which is usually a crowd favorite of ours, right? So unfortunately, our hope of being able to do one in Worth County in partnership with the brewery and restaurants and Cafe Mirror and whatnot, but our hope is to figure out how to do that virtually, or at least in a safe way, in 2021. So now that we've accepted our fate, that'll be something to look forward to, and maybe I'll definitely let you guys know if and when that shakes out. And what that starts looking like. But One other last thing that I'm excited to jump into for 2021 is that we do have funding to research and create a new and beginning farmer checklist. So we've talked a while about how to grow our growers, and especially with this increased demand, we recognize that we need more farmers growing local food. So wanted to make sure that we can kind of do an analysis on what resources currently exist through Practical Farmers of Iowa, through us, through IDOLS, through all of the different resources in the state, and kind of put it into a package that nicely presents for these new and beginning farmers who are looking to get in there, try something out, and maybe they didn't realize a couple of the steps they should have taken in their earlier years. So making sure that we continue the resources and support for those farmers in years 1 to 10 to make sure they have a solid base to grow on. And especially as we see folks that are loving to be at home maybe and wanting to start farming or even just doing a value added product, being able to do that successfully and make sure that they understand the great market opportunity that's out there. So there's a couple other things we've been up to, but that's the highlights that I definitely wanted to make sure you guys know about. And do you have any questions for me?
No, I don't. Just keep up the good work down there.
No, it's been going good with the local stuff, I think, too, with a lot of these farmers, you know, with the shortages or meat plants shutting down everything early on in the year. A lot of these local farmers were able to sell a lot of their pigs and cows and stuff like that to local people. I know lockers are a year out. That's not bad.
Lockers are still a year out. I know we've,
Yeah.
line up beef and stuff. They're still a year out. A lot of them are. So
Yeah, so that's, I mean, I guess the COVID has been a good thing for a lot of the local little livestock farmers, you know, getting rid of a lot of their animals. So that is a good thing. And no, I do like what you guys are doing too down there. It seems to be going good.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, obviously the struggle we talk about a lot is that intermediary, the lockers, the any of the processors, value added steps. I mean, thankfully we have a lot of you know, fresh veg, fresh fruit, and local meat is been increasing the last like 5+ years. But yeah, the lockers are definitely a bottleneck problem. So we've been trying to talk statewide as far as where are gaps in the system and how can we support those folks so our custom lockers don't all just close of exhaustion in the next couple months, right? Like they're doing everything they can. And I know there's a lot of heartbroken deer farmers out there, or deer hunters.
well,
Maybe
that's
deer farmers. I don't know.
the young that wants to start up a locker business. They could talk with our Winworth Betco director. There's probably an opportunity if they wanted to get into that business. It's a hard job, but
Yeah.
I know, you know, Ventura and all the lockers around here are just stretched to the limits from what I've heard. So
Yeah.
they're doing a good job keeping up, but they're working quite a few days a week to make it work. So
Absolutely.
and then there's a few more people get into the local growing stuff too, which is good. So
Yeah, definitely. And we always say it's a good problem to have when there's all this demand that you're stressed to keep up with, I suppose, right? So
Yeah, very
hopefully
true.
it keeps going.
Very true. So
definitely.
we'll definitely take your request into consideration. We're looking at budget workshops after the first year, but we'll definitely do that and try to make it work so we can continue to support you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. We very much appreciate it and all the work that you guys put in. I know this election cycle has been a weird one too, but thank you, Mark, for your time with us, and look forward to working with you in the future, AJ.
I'll still be around myself, so keep
Of
an eye on
course,
you guys.
absolutely.
Be a local.
I'm
beef-
still a local
beef
grower.
producer, so
Yeah.
That's right.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one.
I thought you were in person.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna tell Joel to watch for you, but you came in the door.
Either way.
All right, so that one's done, and now we have
Molly.
Molly.
Yeah.
Welcome, Molly.
Well, thank you. That's funny. I followed Marie before in other counties.
That's how it usually
Making the
is.
rounds.
Yeah.
She's a tough act.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's true. Well, I'm Molly Andrade, Director of RSVP, and Patty Hansen, our Dean of Continuing Ed at NIAC, was going to come with me today, and when the president puts something on your calendar, you kind of have to go to that meeting with him, so she sends her regrets for not being here.
All right.
She is new, so just so you know, I'm not sure how much everyone knows about RSVP. We're a volunteer program for people 55 and older. We're sponsored locally by NIAC, and we fall in the continuing education department, which is a good fit for RSVP because that's the department that really reaches out to the community with different educational opportunities, and so it's just a good fit for our volunteers. So just kind of rewinding back to March, when we shut down our education programs about a week before the schools did. Just realized that, you know, our population is that population that needed to be extra careful. And so their safety was a priority for us. And then we quickly turned to like, okay, these people can't just sit at home with nothing to do. They're isolated more, they're gonna be bored, they're gonna be going crazy. And one of the things that we could help implement was we had a lot of sewers, so they could start making masks and hospital style gowns. And the sewers really embraced it. We have, you know, one volunteer with over 100 hours of making masks, and we had sewers here in Worth County making masks. And then we turned to some card campaigns. So trying to help people, or, you know, just the people that are out on the front lines still working away. We sent cards to all the area hospitals in our 6-county service area. And then we did a care center campaign. So all the employees in care centers, including Manly and Northwood. So the volunteers got behind those efforts. And then most recently, we sent cards to elementary teachers. So we wanted to connect those Reading Buddy volunteers with their teachers because, you know, we're hearing they all miss each other, the students, the teachers, the volunteers, and they can't wait to get back into the classroom. We have some pen pals who live in Worth County and write to students in other elementary schools. The pen pal program is really, it was kind of whoever wants to participate can participate, and we just didn't happen to have a school in Worth County, so we have pen pals that write to Mason City or Forest City, and we do have a modified pen pal program going this year, just a little smaller, some fewer volunteers and fewer teachers, and hopefully they will meet at a party in May. We'll see. I'm like, we'll host these parties outside if we have to.
That's the downfall of this stuff, you know, right now you're not gonna get your outdoor
Right,
events going on for, you know, we're done for 3-4 months here
Yep.
until it warms up again.
exactly.
So, yeah.
Like, we just have to make it till spring. That's my,
Right, yep,
that's my
yep.
frame of mind. And our intent is to get that Reading Buddy program started in the fall. We hope that, you know, especially with this vaccine, that our volunteers will feel comfortable and they'll be safe in the schools, but we shall see. So this last page of what I've provided is just kind of our approach to COVID-19, you know, what's happened since everything had to change. And we're happy to have, you know, 21 volunteers in Worth County that are doing something. We've also really turned to a time to connect with them via Zoom. So for example, last week we hosted a webinar about fraud. The Fraud Fighter program with the state of Iowa is partnering with RSVPs. Eventually we I'll be able to give that training. I haven't done that one yet. It's a little nerve-wracking. There's a lot of information. But the nice thing is that we've actually trained some volunteers on how to use Zoom. So we're helping them connect. If they didn't have someone to help them figure that out, they wouldn't have that opportunity. And they're like, now I can do more stuff that I know Zoom.
Yeah.
So we actually just, like Teresa Price, our volunteer coordinator, she starts by calling the person and says, okay, I've emailed you a link. I mean, she works through it step by step with them. So we have some volunteers who are more technology advanced than others. It doesn't always depend on their age either. I think it's kind of a personality trait that you can do it or not. But yeah, we keep finding ways to connect with them while everyone's kind of stuck at home and keep them active. So we're requesting the same amount this year, $5,000. The local match is just so important to us because we have a requirement of our federal funds. We receive federal, state, county, and United Way funding. And that local match is important. Any questions for me? Okay.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you get volunteers to
Do
do
this
that
stuff.
kind of stuff,
Yeah.
because volunteering is a tough thing for a lot of people, and
Especially now.
yeah,
Yep.
really bad right now because people aren't wanting to get out and do it
Yep.
just because of the fear. But no, so it's fantastic that you are still getting people to do
I
it
know.
and try to keep this thing moving, because it's tough to do the in-person stuff.
It is, I know, and they're just so passionate about helping, and volunteering is so good for the volunteer too, like that's the side effect of not only are they helping others, it is good for their mental and physical health, and so it's great that people step up. We've actually had some new partnerships that have come about since COVID, which this has been a surprise, like a pleasant surprise to me. But we connected with Hawkeye Harvest Food Bank because their volunteer pool was like, no, they had a lot of older volunteers, and they said, we're just not gonna do it. I said, we'll put it out to our volunteers, and they've stepped forward and they're loving it. We're starting probably this week with Elderbridge. They need help picking up food from Hawkeye Harvest and delivering it to their clients at home. So we're gonna get drivers. So, it's great, like, people are stepping forward during the pandemic to help in other ways than reading with students, and that's what we do, what's good for the community. So the other thing I wanna mention is we started partnering with Saragordo County Emergency Management a couple of years ago. So when the pandemic hit, Steve called and said, could your volunteers do a phone bank, a COVID-19, phone bank? I'm like, we can certainly ask, and they did. We had a core group of people that, and they were comfortable with the way Steve had it set up, masks and spread out in the basement of the police station. But then when that moved to public health, so did our volunteers, and public health was like, hey, would your volunteers help with this? And would your volunteers help with that? So they just called us 2 weeks ago and said, would your volunteers help with the dissemination of the vaccine? And we're like, probably. And so they're going to help public health. And so I reached out to Steve last week because he covers Worth County for emergency management. Is that right? No, he
No.
doesn't.
We have our own.
You have
He has
your own.
Franklin County. He does
Oh, he
Franklin and
does Franklin
Saragordo.
and
Yeah.
Saragordo. Okay. So I'll just throw it out to you guys. I mean, if your emergency management, do you also have a public health person? Okay, well, if they have volunteer needs through any of this, we can try to help recruit people. In Saragordo County, they're going to enter the information into a database, so they'll kind of be behind the scenes. I just talked to another director in Story County. They're gonna be part of a strike team that actually goes out to the rural communities, and they're gonna go with that team and help with the vaccination. And so if you hear of needs, have them get a hold of me. We'd be happy to try to supply volunteers. I just know that this vaccine is gonna be a big undertaking.
Yeah.
And so when we were in Hancock County, kind of did the same, threw it out there to the supervisors, and they were like, well, our emergency management director's downstairs, we'll take you down there. And they were like, oh my gosh, this is perfect timing, because they're just starting to talk about what are we gonna do?
Yep.
We're gonna need more people.
He's on.
Oh, he's on.
He's right on Market down here.
Well-
It's actually just over.
Give me a call if you,
Yep,
if
and he's
you
gonna
need,
pass it on to public health. He just said a chat here. He's gonna pass it on to public health in case
Perfect.
they need anything. Then we'll.
yep,
Definitely.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Jackie's got my contact information, so
Yep. And if we've got volunteers in Worth County that are helping, that'd be
yes,
convenient for them to come up here and help if they need to. So.
yeah, no, that'd be great.
Mhm.
Good. Anything else?
I don't believe so.
All right,
Nope.
well, I thank you for your time.
Thanks for coming up.
Appreciate what
You
you're
bet.
doing, and we'll definitely try to make that request work. so.
Sounds good. That sounds great. Thank you, thank you. We'll get out of your hair.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Yes,
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to you. You're back and
Yes.
that's wonderful.
For now.
Right, I know, knock on wood.
Last
hopefully.
2 basketball games canceled.
Oh, really?
Newman and Central Springs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Newman basketball kind of got hit hard a little bit, so.
So you get a couple days off that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So I can just work.
Alrighty, take care.
Take care, guys.
All right, thanks, Molly. All right, believe that is it, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, I'm good. I'll take the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second that motion. All in favor, aye.
All right.
Aye, meeting's adjourned. Thanks, everybody.